Good evening, everybody. This is Warmage Ragnar. You probably don't know me. I'm mostly recording this run because of a suggestion by JT Corpse, a Let's Player that I very much like. He likes making Let's Play videos of Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, and including of mods like this one, The Final Nights, made by Zeromorph and his team. I have several thoughts about this mod, but I'll try to sprinkle them around the run so as to not just give one big info dump in one go. So I've thought a little bit about what clan I would use for this run because I played for a big chunk of the game, I think up to Hollywood as an Assamite once. And I was kind of disappointed that because of the way the mod changes the game's mechanics, you really don't have the luxury of spreading your skills around. This extends to your vampiric disciplines as well. And I was not very happy with the fact that I was practically just an Auspex vampire. I like the changes to the inspection mechanic, but just being the seer that by luck gets a boost to defense and guns from Auspex, it was not my kind of thing. So for this run, I'm gonna go with the BAALI. I have some familiarity with the playstyle because I finished yesterday a run with the follower of Set character. There are some similarities, namely because they both have presence, which is one of my favorite disciplines in all of Vampire the Masquerade. And I love the alterations that Zeromorph and his team made to this discipline in the game, because in the vanilla game and in the unofficial patches, it was basically just a combat aura that debuffed enemies around you so that they attacked you less frequently and their stats lowered, like strength, wits, perception, just makes it worse and thus easier to fight. And the only way this manifested in dialogue and roleplay was giving you additional lines of dialogue that you could choose at the cost of blood. However, this was basically, oh, if you don't have enough persuasion to do this thing, here's a discipline to carry you for you, rather than boosting your persuasion, which is how it works in the tabletop. Zeromorph went and made it so starting at level 3 of presence, wow, even at this volume, this music is loud. Starting at level 3, presence starts to manifest in dialogue in different ways. It activates automatically with no blood cost when you start a dialogue with an NPC. And depending on how powerful or powerless they are, they will be affected by your presence, and thus they will act as if you have bonuses to coercion and seduction, and eventually even to persuasion. This is very good because it spares you points that you otherwise would have to invest into charisma and linguistics to get that far. And it just, yeah, makes those things easier to use. It's more in tandem, more harmonic. I like this. To the point that I actually got to 4 points of presence as a follower of Set. And a sad thing about this mod is that unfortunately the clan-specific disciplines like Serpentis for the follower of Set and Quietus for the Assamite is that they either are very underwhelming, they don't give you much compared to the cost of experience points compared to the vanilla disciplines like Celerity, Auspex, Presence. Especially Quietus, because the game very specifically makes it so your Assamite is not of the warrior caste, it is of the vizier caste. So you're not supposed to be sneaky stabby, but yet Quietus is still made so it's meant to boost melee, like Taste of Death. You spit acidic blood, you lower the enemy's defense. Ball's Caress, you coat your weapon, a melee weapon specifically, in deadly poison to deal extra damage. And then the cap of this thing is Leech, which is another melee thing. You need to be in the thick of combat to drain blood from people. And this character is intellectual, even if you pick the specific backgrounds that shift around your curse so that it boosts skills or talents instead of knowledges. This is still not supposed to be a physical-centered character. The best way to play an Assamite, at least in my experience in this game, is to be an Auspex-heavy marksman-type character. Just bump your perception, bump your Auspex so that you can see all the things, find cool items lying around, and just amp your firearm skill to maximum. And of course your defense. Auspex is actually very good in this mod compared to how it was in vanilla. In vanilla, basically nobody used it, except the first level to get a tiny little boost to hacking skills. And this is not what happens. Wits is no longer connected to hacking, it's intelligence now. Wow, I really went on a tangent there. So I went with BAALI because, first of all, magic, even if, actually especially because it's forbidden hellish magic. For anyone who's not familiarized with this clan, cold, cruel, callous, and utterly evil, the BAALI are the boogeymen of other kindred that other kindred tell their chowder about to scare them. The line originated in Mesopotamia and is generally thought to have been eradicated centuries ago by a coalition of the other clans who couldn't stomach the BAALI's depraved practices. BAALI are devil worshippers and only embrace the most intelligent, driven, and callous of kind. They are not senseless killers. Rather, they are the gentle corrupter who tempts mankind. They nurture friendships with kindred and kind alike, often going out of their way to help others. They commit selfless deeds, shy away from brutality, and advocate peace, but all with the goal of eventual corruption. The BAALI's schemes are imperceivable because of their ability to adapt to any situation. Because of this, they gain +1 experience bonus whenever 3 experience or more is gained. So basically, this is kind of like having the Soul Sept relic right out the gate. But due to their black hearts, they suffer a penalty to humanity and cannot raise it past 6. So of course they had to adapt the clan weakness, because in the tabletop the weakness is that they are repelled by religious symbols regardless of whether they're wielded by a person with true faith or not. But there's no way this can be integrated into the game, so instead they put it into the morality system of humanity. Other clans can go up to 10, but this is our cap right here, 6. And this might seem troublesome, but trust me, it won't be that much, because the things that you need to do in the game in order to gain money and gain advantages will keep draining your humanity anyway in this mod. For example, if you're anywhere above a 5 humanity, if you try to steal something from someone, whether by online hacking, picking locks, or basically mugging them in the street, you're going to lose a point of humanity. But if you're 5 or lower, you can do these things without losing more humanity. The boundaries change. You need to do something like accidentally killing someone while feeding, for example, or just callously murdering innocents on the street, or in certain quests doing particularly cruel things like sacrificing someone. You'll see as it happens. It is only when we get below 5 that we're going to start looking for ways to get our humanity back. 5 is going to be the ideal spot, because if we keep going to 6, we're just going to lose that point again. So we're going to mentally keep track of the quests and decisions that can award us humanity for when we actually need to gain that humanity again. It's going to be a balancing act, because there are decisions that are gated away from you when you're a humanity 4. Like, you're so far gone that doing the right thing does not even cross your mind anymore. You cannot choose it in dialogue. So we're gonna do some reloading if that is the case. You'll see. Well, I said I would sprinkle commentary across the game, but still, I talked so long that the music has ended. Okay, Anyway, the BAALI are a very social kind of character to play in this mod. It's gonna be a lot of charisma manipulation. We're gonna abuse the hell out of presence. Sadly, we won't be using much of Daimonian, the clan-specific discipline, because again, most of the clan-specific disciplines are very lackluster in this mod. For example, the first level of Daimonian, Blood of the Sinner. This is just a boost to how much blood you get from feeding on the easier kind of prey of the game, like homeless people and hookers. Even though those are usually... How do I put this? If you're going to resort to hookers anyway, you might as well just use... You're going to boost finance and manipulation, and they're gonna cost so little to hire. And getting them to a safe location to feed on without resulting in a criminal violation or a masquerade strike, it ends up not being that worth it. The only thing that really interests me in this line is Rest for the Wicked, which is the trance kind of power that Dominate gives you in the vanilla game. It's good for stealth sections. However, we have Obfuscate, which means we automatically win every single stealth thing in this game. So it's a very strong combination. Presence and Obfuscate on the same character, oof. And because we're going to be very social and roleplay centered, we're going to prioritize Presence, with Obfuscate being our secondary. We might not even go past the second point, because again, we won't be using Obfuscate as often as a Samedi, for example, who needs to be unseen at all times, and getting to the fourth dot helps move things along because you don't need to be crouched to be invisible. We'll only use this when absolutely necessary. Let's see, let's pick a background. Since this is going to be a social character, we're going to pick a background that gives us that. Oh, and by the way, even if you choose, oh, I'm gonna be a social character, in the vanilla game, if you want to be a social character, you can absolutely go all the fronts of social interaction in the game, like persuasion, coercion, and seduction. You can be great at all three. In this mod, you're restricted even in this. It's a very... The income of experience points becomes a drip feed. So you kind of need to pick coercion or seduction. Seduction really doesn't seem to help much, aside from, you know, getting blood dulls in the game. But since we already have a power that allows us to feed more easily, we're probably not going to be seducing, which hurts me to my core, because I love playing seducing Casanova-style vampires that mesmerize people. We are instead going to go into coercion because it's a very lucrative kind of social skill, because we are able to threaten and coerce people on the streets to give us money. And there's more NPCs just pacing around, which have increasing difficulties of being coerced, but they also increasingly give more money. So that's going to be very good. Let's see what we have here that can point us in that direction. Anything that boosts seduction is not going to be useful to us, like this one, for example. Abuse Altar Boy. We're not going to invest into sneaking, because if you have Obfuscate, you automatically don't need to have stealth skill, which very much doesn't match what is the case in the tabletop. You need to be stealthy already in order to Obfuscate to be good for you. So I'm thinking either Practitioner of Evil for the plus to persuasion, or what's the other one? Or Maleficent Magnate, which gives us more haggle. And strangely enough, haggle does not just affect the prices that you get from merchants in the game, they also affect how much money you get as a reward from certain quests. For example, the tiny amount of money that you get in your drawer as soon as you get to Santa Monica is influenced by haggle, even though you were not even part of the negotiation of how much you were going to get. Not sure if that was intentional or just a byproduct of how the mod was coded, but that's something to keep in mind. Since I'm going to be boosting manipulation anyway, I'm going to go with Practitioner of Evil for the persuasion, because we won't be dedicating ourselves to charisma just yet. We want to coerce people as much as possible. We won't be dedicating ourselves to dodge just yet, because I intend this character to be centered on firearms for combat. Sadly, again, we won't be going far into Daimonian, because if you follow the logic of this line of disciplines, it clearly intends you to be more of a close range kind of character. Because of the capping skill, it essentially is you channel a demon so that you assume a monstrous form, kind of like Protean, and you get all fiery. You use unarmed attacks that deal aggravated damage. It boosts your strength, and it makes you very hardy, because the demon takes damage instead of you until the form runs out. So already this is very superior to the follower of Set snake form in this mod, but it takes so long to get there, it's not really worth the investment. So guns it is. Presence is going to help that. Perception is already a great thing to invest into so that we can find things and notice inconsistencies in the stories of NPCs, so we can call them out on their lies, and this in turn grants us additional experience points. So we're going to go into manipulation, perception. We won't be doing a lot of hacking, because hacking is basically not necessary when you're a very social character. The things that you would get from a computer are things that you can get from NPCs by dialogue if your social stats are high enough, so don't sweat about it. We bumped up intimidation. In terms of abilities, we're going to go into security. Knowledges. What would be good for this point? Our persuasion is pretty good already, but there's a particular quest that is going to require us to have a good level of persuasion, otherwise we cannot complete it. I guess I can boost finance later. It's going to be cheaper to do what I'm going to do in terms of experience points. Which discipline should we boost right off the gate? Considering we're going to be very social, we are not going to need a lot of stealth right away. But then again, presence is not going to help us that much yet, because again, the thing that influences dialogue is on level 3. And obfuscate, let's face it, it's not very useful at the first dot, because if you move, it drops. Yeah, let's go with obfuscate. We're gonna skip the intro, I'm sorry, but you know what, let's go see the intro, just because, just to set the mood. Yes, I clearly have not wasted you guys' time enough. What are we gonna call this guy? Let's just call him Damien from Omen. Because why not? Are we forgetting anything? Nah, we're all good. Let's go. I very much like that the model for the BAALI is kind of just an edited version of the Tremere model, because he looks so much cooler. I would kill for having a shirt like this guy has. It's so strange that we never really find out who our sire was and why they just embraced us on a whim. I love the eyes. This is my favorite kind of eye color scheme with the black sclera. So supernatural and cool. Oh, it's kind of veins around the eyes too. Kind of like a Sith from Star Wars. Like when you get corrupted by the dark side and you get paler and full of visible veins and under the skin.
Good evening. My fellow kindred, my apologies for disrupting any business or interfering with prior engagements you may have had this evening. It's unfortunate that the affair that gathers us together tonight is a troubling one. We are here because the laws that bind our society, the laws that are the fabric of our existence.
Yeah, Skelter's eyes were changed as well, I guess to make it more obvious that he is Gangrel, not Bruja, as we used to think. Yeah, I'm gonna say Bruja because it's not Bruja. Bruja is the pronunciation of the Spanish word for witch, which has nothing to do with what the clan is about.
Refuse permission. Indeed, my permission.
Come to think of it, I don't even know what the origin for the name Bruja for the clan is.
Child, it pains me to announce the sentence, as up to
the female BAALI looks cool too.
A loyal and upstanding member of our organization. But as some of you may know, the penalty for this transgression is death.
The models for those henchmen behind LaCroix in the vanilla game used to just be the models for the other playable clans that you did not choose, like Gangrel, Malkavian, whatever. But here, I guess Zero Morph changed it so that's just more generic looking people.
Forgive me.
They actually look like
let the penalty come
some NPCs from the Giovanni mansion.
Which leads to the fate of the ill-begotten progeny. Without a sire, most children are doomed to walk the earth never knowing their place, their responsibility.
I used to wonder if this is a trial/execution event.
This is bullshit.
Of the Camarilla, why are the Anarchs there? But then I thought, Nines and his crew probably only attended because it is an execution, and they attended in order to stop it in case some injustice was being committed, and that's exactly what happened.
They shall be instructed in the ways of our kind, and be granted the same rights. Let no one say I am unsympathetic to the plights and causes of this community. I thank you all for attending these proceedings, and I hope their significance is not lost. Good evening.
I like Nines well enough. He has a nice sense of justice and all, even if he has kind of a simplistic view of the world. And his whole grizzled veteran, hey kid, this is how the world works, spiel, falls very flat when he's very young in terms of vampire years. He has no place acting like such a veteran.
Adhere to.
I don't know why the screen faded to black there.
When anyone breaks these laws,
I guess it mistimed.
Fabric of our centuries-old society.
But Nine's crew, like Damsel and Skelter, I really don't like them. They see us, our character, who is a victim in all of this, who's only working for LaCroix because they have no other option. And if you refuse, LaCroix literally dominates you into doing it. And the reaction is, oh, you suck. We're gonna treat you like garbage, even though you have no word, no say in what's going on. Like, dude, aren't you supposed to be against injustice? Help me out. Make me feel welcome somewhere.
Good evening.
And then I found out that Damsel is going to appear in Bloodlines 2. Like, oh great, out of all the characters you could have brought back, Damsel was the one, huh? Enough people liked her for you to bring her back. from LA to Seattle. What is she even doing in Seattle? Let's save a little bit in case the game crashes. I don't want to have to watch that again. Tutorial.
I'm Jack.
Let me.
You'll adjust.
Oh,
I'd love to.
probably not skip the entirety of this dialogue because in the tutorial, your character's lines change a little bit according to your clan. Like the Salubri is very goody two shoes and horrified with what happened to them. You're gonna see what the BAALI sounds like.
All right. Christ, it's stuffy in there, huh? This is much better. Now, we ain't got much time, but I figured you look wobbly.
Drink of what?
Oh, man, we're popping a cherry here.
Please don't word it like that. What do I do?
Down around the corner there, I saw this human. Poor SOB can't find his car.
So what do I do?
All right. You go down there.
Now here is where the flavor text begins to appear. Will he become my puppet?
Forget that comic book crap, kid. It don't work that way. Now go for it. Be sure, though, and this is important, so listen up. Be sure not to drain him dry, okay? It might be hard to resist, but don't kill him.
His blood is mine. Why did I become Shang Tsung for this? Alright, so... Wow, I cannot switch views. Okay. Nice model. I would kill to have a shirt like this. Okay, okay. And again, in the Final Nights mod, your blood is going to gradually drain to keep you going. So that's an important thing to keep in mind. And this drain is going to be even more intense if you have low humanity, which is going to be the case, and if we have low stamina. So since our humanity is not going to be high, we might want to throw some points into stamina. When we can.
Yeah. Yeah. Hell yeah, you're feeling it. I can see it in your eyes. You're a born-again predator. Feeling that blood.
Okay, so Jack is a voyeur. Okay, the infernal power is growing inside me.
Alright now, you got the blood, you're feeling all kick-ass.
I'm eager to learn more.
Like sharper senses, a body that can take a beating.
You can't really take a beating in this mod, I can assure you. Enemies deal so much more damage. Immortality, the masters have bestowed me well.
Well, you can still be destroyed, but forget the books and the movies. Garlic, it's worthless. Now,
Yeah.
gun blast to the head. Oh, that's trouble, boy. Fire, that's real trouble.
Yeah, stay away from shotguns. We do not have fortitude. We want to be far away from shotguns. I was never a day person before anyways. That is exactly what I think about being a... Not lament not being able to go out during the day. Oh, Sawyer.
You seem a little, off.
For a moment I forgot I need to press E instead of clicking things. Why did that even happen? I did not even play another game in between to have this kind of total confusion. So yeah, one of the reasons I'm playing the tutorial is that... Okay, Jack also teleports. Is that you get the lockpick, possibly a gun, and a couple of experience points, which you do not get if you skip the tutorial.
Shh. Heads up. Back away.
I already know this is going to be very loud. How fortunate that those guys have graduated from the Stormtrooper Academy. They were shooting the fence. They could have just animated the sheriff taking the bullets. He's a fucking badass. He has... No, actually, he's not a gangrel. Yeah, I used to think for the longest time the sheriff was a gangrel, but he's actually, like, an offshoot of the Tsimisi. There would be no way for me to know until someone informed me based on the battle form he takes during his boss battle, the Chiropteran Marauder. That is actually a 6th or 7th level power of vicissitude, not of Protean. Quite the opposite. I was never an angel. Maybe a fallen angel.
Cool. Now, if you want a lesson on how really...
But I still remember what those church kids did to me, so why not?
It's the same reason you don't let humans see you feed it. It's also why you don't...
Alright, I see your point.
Keep our secret, and you...
What do you mean? What could happen?
Party back there with the guy in the suit and the Magilla Gorilla?
Jack, no! Don't word it like that, jeez.
Alright,
Okay.
don't worry, because I know the...
Okay. Yep. We're not even gonna bother trying to hack, because we don't have any hacking skills. There's going to be a couple of quests that reward us with boosts to hacking, but it's not gonna help us really. We're just gonna do them for the sake of the experience. Like the things that Bertram Tongue asks you to do. Even though there's an additional thing he asks you to do early on, that you actually have the option to choose between a hacking boost or an investigation boost, and we're going to take the investigation one. Oh my god, I have no idea for how long I've been recording. But as soon as I finish the tutorial, I'm going to stop. And, okay, I understand why Zero Morph made it so feeding on people doesn't automatically heal you. Because 1, it matches the way it is in the tabletop game, and 2, because it makes the game harder. But here's what it also does. It makes you waste time sitting around outside of combat waiting for your health to come back with blood heal. Make it so at least if you feed outside of combat you heal automatically. Just a quality of life thing. What's the difference? Blood is blood, right? Looking forward to it. What happens if I have an accident? Okay. These ridiculous rules are limiting my power.
I said innocent humans. If some asshole...
I'm glad you cleared that up.
The only way to fight...
Got it.
Now go...
I'll be gentle. Maybe. So yeah, if we use blood... If we had lost more blood... In fact, let me demonstrate. Lose a little bit more. There we go. If we use blood of the sinner and feed on the homeless guy, we're going to get more blood than we otherwise would. See? Whoops. That might have been a little too much, but... Why did those guys go on and on about crab nipple?
You can do worse.
He served his purpose.
Give it a try.
We'll see. Well, actually are gonna have to feed on rats this time because I spent a little too much blood on blood buff. For the sake of the demonstration. I'd expected it to be way more blood because when you use Quicken the Blood from Quietus as an Asimite, it makes you get so much blood from anyone. Alright. Never again. Just one guy. Sneak where? No problem. On. Alright. Can you believe that the first couple of times I've played this game, I had no idea there was a luminosity gauge? That's what you get for not paying attention to the tutorial. Alright. Let's get away from here. Okay, okay. Please skip.
Yeah.
Please skip.
Go get him.
Okay, so even though the tutorial tells you, oh, go fight this guy mano a mano, the game is so much harder that really it's not worth trying to fight him. So I'm just gonna sneak kill him. We're going to equip the tire iron. We would waste so much more blood getting beaten up by that guy and then having to...
Saban are going all out. Alright, head down into the basement through the grate in there. Keep that
Let's just spend one blood point and sneak kill. Now this part of the tutorial is occasionally frustrating because randomly this guy will just look from side to side and catch you. There's no way to predict it and you have to do it again.
Not sure what's going.
I hear rats, but I don't see any. I guess predicting that you can get really beaten up by the other guy, there will be rats here for us to heal up. So what do we do in this part? Okay, BAALI have 3 unique disciplines: Daimonian, Supernatural Witchcraft, and Infernal Corruption, that I wish was better. Obfuscate, Vampiric Invisibility, Presence, the mystical projection of personality, inspiring fear and awe, and one of my favorite disciplines in the entire series. Yeah, Presence, the power to mystically project your personality. Okay, so I just use Presence to try to kill the guy. Okay, so we have to fight this time. That was shockingly easy. I guess they lowered the health those guys have at the tutorial so that you don't... My masters will protect me. So really going for the devil worshipper thing here. Oh. Okay, so this time... Do I have to kill him? Shit, I did not read. I did not read. So yeah, obfuscate. The obfuscate effect looks weird here because my computer is a goddamn potato. Back before my desktop died, I play this game and other games just fine. What was I supposed to do? Oh yeah, I'm supposed to... It told me something about Daimonian, but... What? Blood of the Sinner to defeat the enemy. How am I going to use Blood of the Sinner to defeat this guy? Are you crazy? See, this is the thing. The first level of those disciplines should have other applications. This one is just a feeding... No. This is the first time this happened. This is the first time this happened. Why? Why would you do this? Go boy, fetch. Look how much blood I wasted just to get past this guy. I'll use it well, so now this gun, we won't have to give it back. We don't want to give this gun back because things are expensive in this mod. We want to save money as much as possible. So our accuracy is terrible at this level. Don't worry, it's gonna be fine. Dude, I shot the bottle, I hit it. There, jeez. Couple of rats. This tutorial can be weird like that. It will not let you proceed unless you hit the bottle, no matter how bad your aim is. I used to not really like the guns in this game, and I still don't, like, in a in a vacuum, you would say. But the fact that investing in guns saves you from having to invest into physical skills made me really warm up to them. Hello, let me eat you. So yeah, whenever you want to make a sneak kill, but the enemy is positioned in a way that makes it hard or impossible to do, just eat them.
That's it, kiddo.
That wasn't so bad.
Well, now.
Right. Thanks for letting me keep the gun. That's gonna save me so much money.
This is bar downtown here. I'll fill you in on the politics. Now that's the stuff that'll kill you. Good luck.
So I noticed that Jack has a new vest. Little aesthetic tweaks here and there. In addition to the HD textures around the game. I think the carpeting, the floor looks better now. This poster is new. Is this a real band? The Birthday Massacre, Pins and Needles. Guys, you're gonna have to forgive me. I'm very musically uncultured. Just gonna say that right now. A note from Maximilian. There, see, we got $15 because our haggle is decent but not the best just yet. When I played as a Setite, I had at least 1 point of finance in addition to manipulation, so I actually got $100 from this drawer. So just gonna quickly go through the emails. Yeah, gonna meet Mercurio of random funny spam. Sylvia Black, like, hey, keep an eye on you. I'm gonna be a special new NPC later. Kilpatrick telling us about his bail bonds business. Mercurio again. And this mysterious friend warning us, giving us cryptic advice about the game. Nobody knows who it is. If it is Jack, if it is Kane. Why would Kane even care about some random fledgling in the middle of LA, embraced under mysterious circumstances? Alright, so the tutorial is over, and as a reward we have the lockpick, a free gun with some bullets, and a couple of experience points. And let me tell you, every experience point matters. This mod is not generous at all about experience points. So be very careful. Think very carefully about how you're going to spend them. This is not vanilla when you can experiment and put a couple of points here and see what happens, and keep put a couple of points there, and just to pass this specific check and then never use again. You cannot do that. You pick your strengths and you stick with them. You only diverge when you, by some accident or a stroke of good luck, you have points to spare. And considering I'm going to be BAALI, we get more experience. That might actually happen. So thank you guys for watching this far. I'm sorry for rambling so much, but I had a lot to say. That's gonna be a pattern, clearly, across this run. Again, thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna see you in the next video. Bye-bye.